Hello, my name is Jasmine Mckissick, and today I'd like to speak with you about residential hazards. There are numerous hazards found in the home, but what I'd like us to focus on are household hazards, and interestingly, they can all affect indoor air quality. In this presentation, we will look at three common household hazards, what they are, where do they come from, and what health effects can these hazards cause. The three hazards that we will be discussing are smoke, radon, and asbestos. Smoke is comprised of ash, water vapor, and according to the USDA, other compounds such as carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxide, irritant, volatile organic compounds, but more specifically, tobacco smoke contains other chemicals like nicotine, hydrogen cyanide, formaldehyde, hydrocarbons, benzene, and lots of other things like ammonia. And sadly, some of these chemicals are carcinogens, which can cause cancer. In our homes, there are various sources of smoke, including tobacco from smoking cigarettes or cigars, cooking with kerosene or other volatile oils, and heating the home, such as in the case of a fireplace. There are several health problems associated with household smoke, including pneumonia, asthma exacerbation, COPD, COPD exacerbations, and lung cancer. Particulate matter can irritate the airway and cause inflammation, which can cause the symptoms of coughing, wheezing, shortness of breath, and those carcinogens are what can cause lung cancer. The good news is there's ways to control for smoke. There are several ways to control smoke in the home, including preventing smoking within the home, preventing individuals from smoking in general to decrease second and third hand smoke exposure, as well as using cleaner energy sources such as wind or solar energy to prevent the burning of fossil fuels. Next, I'd like to speak about radon. Radon is a radioactive gas that is found in nature and is a byproduct of the breakdown of another element called uranium that's found in the Earth's crust or its substrate. Radon is essentially everywhere, including the soil, water, and rocks. And if you look at the photo on the screen, you'll see that uranium is found in the crust, then it is broken down into radium, and then from radium, it's broken down into radon. The health effects of radon are interesting in that radon is not associated with other pulmonary issues like COPD, asthma, and allergies, but is associated with lung cancer, especially in smokers, but can cause lung cancer in non smokers as well. Radon exposure can increase the risk of lung cancer depending on how high the level is. And tobacco smoke and radon exposure are actually synergistic for lung cancer. So, if a person currently smokes, it is advised that they stop smoking to decrease their risk of lung cancer from their primary smoking as well as from radon exposure with their tobacco smoke. Since radon is basically everywhere, you can't get rid of it completely, but you can manage your exposure. By doing radon testing, property owners can know the level of radon in the building they live in and in the area around them. Knowing this level can help them determine next steps in terms of management. Ventilating the home or building is an easy way to allow radon to pass through and not be trapped within the home where it can accumulate. Also, insulating the home is helpful in that some insulating materials are resistant against radon and won't allow as much radon into the home. In terms of prevention, in addition to building in areas that have lower radon levels naturally, certain building methods during the construction of the home or building can be helpful to prevent radon from getting into the home. For example, Methods such as sealing and caulking cracks, building a radon vent pipe, providing a layer underneath the home to allow radon to flow from beneath the home can be used. And also, these building methods can help manage the radon no matter the exposure. This is important because even if a building is in an area with low radon levels, radon can still accumulate within a home. So, next I'd like to move on to asbestos. Asbestos is a mineral naturally found in rock or soil that has a fibrous structure and is naturally fire retardant, according to the EPA. It can be found in various materials, including building materials such as insulation, roofing materials, tile for ceilings or floors, and automotive parts such as brakes, hoses, various parts of engines, among other things. Asbestos is most commonly associated with mesothelioma. If you think of TV ads that you've seen, they usually advertise for people that have asbestos exposure. Um, Most commonly, they will use the term, "Have you ever worked in a shipyard?" But asbestos can also cause asbestosis and bronchogenic carcinoma. All of these lung diseases include, to some degree, scarring of the lung and inflammation, and in some cases can cause calcification of the lung or different tissues. Most notably, plaques on the outer lining of the lung is a characteristic of mesothelioma. Asbestos can cause these issues, and there is approximately a 1 to 2 decade lag between exposure to asbestos and disease onset. In terms of controlling for asbestos, prevention of allowing fibers to float freely into the air is key. Free floating fibers can get into the lungs and later cause issues. This can be done by being careful to avoid damaged or decaying building materials, repairing and remodeling homes safely, and altering material as little as possible. For example, drilling holes in different materials or sanding in the case of doing home repairs, remodeling, or even different car parts. Through this presentation, we have discussed 3 different residential hazards, including smoke, radon, and asbestos, as well as methods to control exposure to these hazards. Thank you for your attention, and references for this presentation as well as photo credits can be found in the notes of this presentation. Thank you again for listening.